Hey guys, welcome to the review and results show for the April 5th, 2023 edition of AEW Dynamite. My name's Dan, and I review each and every AEW and ROH show. That shows like this, the Super Card of Honor, so if you missed anything, you want a quick recap, or you just want to have a place to talk all things AEW and ROH, you can do so right here. So please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, or notification bell, because it will let you see past videos and the future reviews that I do, but also helps others to find my channel. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. Dynamite kicks off with what was supposed to be Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks, but turned into a beatdown and a shocking re-debut of Switchblade Jay White, my guy right here. There was a lot of talk as to where Jay was going to end up, and I'm so happy to see him in AEW. He's one of my faves in New Japan, and the possibilities of who he can wrestle in AEW are just endless. All those dream matches are going to be so damn good. And the fact that he is with Juice and he could be the sort of AEW chapter of Bullet Club, I think that could be a lot of fun to play into. That's something that they're going to do. This was just too awesome, but I really gotta wonder here. We already know who Juice is rolling with, but who is Ricky Starks going to be rolling with? Who's going to be his guy to even the odds here? Following that, we got a backstage interview where Tony is talking with Chris Jericho and gives a brief recap of what happened with himself, Daniel Garcia, and Adam Cole last week. And he has a few choice words for Cole, saying how he disrespected Garcia. Then in walks Keith Lee. And he talks about his story with Adam Cole and how Chris Jericho has been the poster child of being disrespectful. And he was literally talking down to Chris Jericho at one point. I love how Chris Jericho really put him over by just kind of just like cowering as he's like staring up at him. It was just so good. But the real story here is that Keith Lee is going to be taking on Chris Jericho next week on Dynamite. I do expect Keith Lee to lose, but how he's going to lose? Probably some form of shenanigans, and I'm really wondering if it's just going to be Swerve himself or he's going to be rolling with some others, because he did allude to that in a past promo. Back to the ring, and it's the House of Black defending their World Trios Championships against Orange Cassidy and Best Friends. And before the match even started, we had some fun with the entrances, with on one side, probably one of the coolest entrances in the world in House of Black. And on the other side, you have the most wholesome entrance ever, the return of Trent's Bomb Sue as she drops them off at the ring. I miss when they used to do that all the time when they were doing these at Daly's place. And this match was fun, as most of the Trios matches are in AEW, and would not take too long for this match to break down, with both teams fighting each other in and out of the ring, bodies flying everywhere, devastating hits left and right. But it's the House of Black here who retain after Buddy hits Chuck with the curb stomp. Even though it was brief, I do feel like I need to talk about Christian's return with Luchasaurus and how just so damn cool it was. Because we were wondering for a while, since Christian lost that match to Jungle Boy a while back, what exactly was going to be next for them, right? When was going to be the next time we were going to be able to see them. And we saw them here. Luchasaurus looking as badass, as evil as ever. I do love that red background that you have in this picture here. I also did love that they didn't exactly say what their intentions were, who they were going after, because it should be great whenever they do make their intentions known. After that, it's Jamie Hayter defending her AEW Women's World Championship against former champion Riho, and this was another great match as expected from these two. You had Riho with her high-flying ability and Jamie with her hard-hitting offense, and also Britt was there cheering her on at ringside. Riho always hits picture-perfect crossbodies, whether they be in the ring or outside the ring. She almost became a two-time champion after hitting one of them. Jamie would answer back with one hell of a neckbreaker into a lariat that almost put Riho away. They would continue to go back and forth, even trading forearms at one point. Riho did hit Jamie with a double foot stomp to the face in the corner, where she would have normally won, but Jamie did get her foot on the rope. But after that, it was a series of haterades from Jamie that would allow her to retain. Right after that match, Renee is standing backstage with the Outcasts, who congratulate Jamie on a successful title defense. And Ruby would go on to say that it's time for the Outcasts to regain some control over this women's division, and that starts with getting the title off of Jamie Hayter. And when pressed on who exactly was going to be going after her, Saraya was like, No, please don't, try to stir the pot here. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then Tony sort of caps things off by saying it doesn't really matter who it is as long as it's one of them who does it, which makes them very interesting because will they support the one person who decides to go after her? Are all of them going to go after after her separately? Is there going to be some sort of jealousy involved? Because Saraya, I really do want to get that shirt. It looks really cool, and I know you want me to buy it, but I don't want to get a shirt when I don't know how long a group's going to be around for. We would then finally get to hear the Acclaimed answer on whether or not they'll join the JAS, and it ended up being answered in a rap where Max would say Chris Jericho is more full of shit than George Santos, which somehow 2.0 took it as they don't want them to fight against each other, that they want them to fight together, which makes up for an 8-man tag that's going to air on Rampage. I'm guessing that there's going to be either the Acclaim giving a more definitive no answer or JAS beating them up. We then get one of the most fantastic segments that I've ever seen, and that's for MJF Day. There was a jazz band, and MJF was doing his best to sing along, and even tried to scat with two people playing saxophone there. That was amazing. He would eventually then get down to the ring and talk about his issues with ADD. The crowd even chanted at one point, which was hilarious. He told us a story he had about one of his teachers where basically she made fun of him for it and for wanting to achieve his dreams. Being that it was in Long Island, he was cheered throughout, and at the end of this, he would make his way back towards where the band was playing and continuously ask, do you want to see an encore? And there was a suspicious person there who looked like, they were all masked up, holding symbols. And it turns out that that person was in fact a Jungle Boy. They would decide to go at it and end up getting separated, and then out walked Sammy Guevara for his match where he first decided to pick up the title, sort of look at it, and put it back down. Speaking of that match, it is in fact Sammy Guevara against Komander, and this match was full of high-flying fun. They matched up so well together. I'll always marvel at Komander's balance as he walks across those ropes there, and the air that he gets off of it, so incredible. It almost like time stands still when he's up in the air. He literally walked across the ropes at one point and did a shooting star press. That Phoenix Splash was absolutely tremendous, but it was stated on commentary that Komander went to the ropes too many times and it would eventually cost him, allowing Sammy to take advantage, and he would counter Komander's rope walk with a diving cutter and then hits the GTH for the win. After the match, Sammy would cut a very passionate promo that I felt probably would have gotten a better response if not for being in MJF country there, but the message is definitely something that I could get behind and something that I feel like would have done better on the show next week. After that, it's Hook defending his FTW championship against Ethan Page, and something I'm sure we were all wondering is what exactly did Matt Hardy put in that contract and what kind of role would they play in this match? Well, we would find out one of those things, and it would not take us too long to find that out. Isaiah would distract the referee and what appeared to be Hook at the time, and that would allow Ethan Page to get hit in the head by Matt Hardy with the title. That would allow Hook to lock in the Red Rum for the win, and they would celebrate as they would walk up the ramp. And I think this is something that's just been in the works for a while, and then they set this whole thing up for weeks and just found the perfect opportunity to get them out of the firm. That's something I'm sure we'll find out more of soon. Then we finally get to hear about Tony Khan's important announcement, along with seeing Nigel McGuinness, who should have been a big giveaway, and current star Adam Cole, baby. And that's that AEW is going to the UK, but where exactly in the UK is he going? How about Wembley Stadium? Just in case you don't understand how big of a deal this is. Not only, like I said, is this the first time they're going to the UK, it's a big deal. This place holds 90,000 people, okay? So this is the second biggest stadium in the world, and it's the first time any wrestling event has been there since SummerSlam in 1992. I don't know if AEW will sell it out. I know WWE, WWF at the time didn't sell it out. It didn't even make it to 80,000. But it should be exciting to see what the eventual number is and what that card should be, because you know it's going to be insane. Up next, it's the Blackpool Combat Club taking on, well, amateurs, I guess, because they never got a nameplate, and that's what Bryan Danielson kept on referring to them as. This was one hell of a beating, and it ended with Wheeler tapping one of them out in one hell of a submission. After it, we would see Danielson get on the microphone and talk about that they're only real professionals in AEW. Hangman would try to answer, but to no avail here, as he would get beaten down by the entirety of the BCC, including Danielson, who hit him with a freaking screwdriver. When this beatdown is happening, Bryan would be berating him and say that no one loves Hangman and no one's going to come to save him. This was fantastic. Everybody was fantastic in this. It's main event time, with the Guns defending their AEW World Tag Team Championships against FTR, and if FTR loses, they will be gone from AEW, and they did a great job at putting doubts in our minds throughout this match. But we're going to start with the first one that came during the Guns' entrance, and it was phenomenal. You had the cameras circling around them, and the song that they came out to was 50 Cent's Many Men. Now look, I know on the surface it doesn't fit them at all, but I know how much of a rap fan Austin is. I know how much he loves to rap. So it's pretty great to me in that sense. So throughout this match, the Guns realized that they couldn't beat FTR legitimately. It was either a combination of getting themselves disqualified or using some underhanded tactics to get the 3 count. And there was one time where the ref was about to DQ them, but Cash wouldn't allow that to happen, and the Guns would continuously be unsuccessful as FTR would do stereo roll-ups to capture those titles back for a second time and prevents them from having to leave AEW. After the match, Mark Briscoe would come down to the ring to celebrate. I would love to see more of this, but it was such a wonderful moment regardless. I wasn't a huge fan of the Guns going into this match or going into this whole thing, but as it went on, they really did start to grow on me, and I really do believe them as legitimate contenders for future title runs. That was AEW Dynamite. What did you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comment section below. This was a jam-packed, newsworthy episode of AEW. Everything from Jay White re-debuting to that UK announcement. Really though, you need to go out and watch this thing from start to finish. And if you enjoyed this review, please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because I know you see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also helps others to find my channel. So thank you guys once again for checking out this review, and thank you guys for being all elites.